again?
Okay, we're part two of XD anime // animation meme frame by frame analysis. So
Part 2. My mic is better. If you can't hear me that well, just go ahead.
okay, so as you can see, I think we were talking about last time how this is what there was another character before this. This is like his ideal world. Like he
I'm pretty
believes
sure
in
this is like
he's
the
central race. He's
reaction
central
to
racial is I think what they call it.
the sen- so like where we
Ethocent
left off,
ethocent.
we're talking
I think
about
it's ethocentric, yeah. So he's
uh
essentially ethocentric.
so what we were talking about originally was like social parties divided amongst itself and racial inequalities and basically how a country sees and how new races join. And so this is the two social parties that are like trying to like lash back at the third social party that has like gained popularity. Kind of like a team in sports, they're trying to beat the other team. Everyone knows that. So yeah, that's basically what we're going on right now. You can keep going through the frames. Oh, and so
See,
here's
it's
more
sort of a loop
propaganda
now.
footage.
It's
See,
simplifying change within a pattern.
we're no longer focusing the black amongst the white. We're focusing on the white amongst the black, hence the black background. So this isn't actually to describe anything. This is just propaganda footage right now, or whatever you call it. But
And if
the propaganda
you've been
uses for
watching this
countries.
very closely, you know that this is essentially a loop now. It's a different
It's just
things
history repeating itself.
repeated. Yes, history repeating itself, but different sort of like it's a different background, different characters. Essentially meaning that Earth does history does repeat itself, but it's just slightly altered. That's really what it means.
So so you can just see how so there's well basically what I'm gonna point out is that there's almost no motion blur, which means there's no like blending between the races right now. So like I said, we don't have much to say since it's repeating. We already like clarified everything going on in the last cycle or the last revolution, you could say. So yeah, you can just keep going through.
See, it pops its head up,
And
repeating
keep in
itself.
mind how like there's a slight reflective material on the stripe, showing how the social party is constantly self-centered and narcissistic, and how it's reflecting amongst itself and focusing only on itself and not about anything else, and trying to make itself as best as physically possible.
Hmm.
Oh, by the way, so yeah, you can just see the changes between the races. How some of them are dying, some of them are being born. You know the deal.
Hmm.
Is that a new race? Those blue tallies right there. What kind of race would that? Would that be like I don't
Asian
know.
Americans
Yeah,
or something.
Asian Americans.
You can really see it's just history repeating itself. We're still kind of on that ethnocentric thing that's going on
Yep.
because it's still that one character's, I think, desire for its perfect world, which that could be representing, World War II, Germany.
All right. Is there anything else we have to say about this frame?
No.
All right. Oh, okay. So the Asian American population is decreasing. I don't know if that's actually historically accurate. I doubt it is because I know a lot of them are Asian Americans. But yeah. You can keep going. I have nothing else to say about this frame. Oh,
See,
okay. So
we've
there's
covered this last time. The star represents unity.
Mhm. So there's unity within this. So like a history repeating itself. It's a cycle. Unity, maybe potentially a new race comes and goes, and then the unity disappears. Like I can guarantee you that this star is gonna disappear. So unity is gonna eventually disappear. So like keep going. You can see how the star is fading in out of existence. You can see that.
So yeah, it's actually telling a story of a timeline Like it's a period of unity and peace, and it's protest and race, like a race sort of like staircase. Everyone's trying to climb, and
It's like
eventually
a
it
social
all
ladder, kind
balances
of.
out for a bit. It's like a
Yeah.
never-ending cycle.
Mhm. All right, you can keep going. Okay, so here I'm assuming that this is a different social group right here because you can see a slightly irritated, almost saddened expression. But it's probably gonna change within the next couple of frames. This is probably more propaganda footage. Okay. Up and see, look now. So the two social parties, they've given up on the big one. So now they're just fighting amongst each other now. And then once
Hmm.
the bigger social party, the one in front, is fading in, there's a lot of like coinciding amongst the races in the social group.
Hmm.
So you can see, but once it fully makes it in, everyone like will stop because you can see that there'll be no blending going on.
Yeah. Yeah, this is
So
actually
yeah,
propaganda, really.
yeah. So this is like almost like promotional footage, you could say.
Yeah, it's trying to, persuade you to on the other side. Essentially, in a way, it's like it's sort of like framed on the person in front, and it's not framed on it. It's just it's not essentially focused because it would be motion blur in the background. But
This could be like the classic story of Verizon and T-Mobile and how one of them is trying to constantly one up the other. That's basically what we're seeing, but with like a racial stand-in almost.
yes,
And you can see,
no, we're no longer in propaganda footage, as they would probably not show this in propaganda footage.
yeah, in propaganda footage, we all know there's no negative energy in propaganda footage or promotional video.
It's
This is
it
probably
is
shifting
negative
into
energy.
like,
It is,
this is
but
probably shifting in instead of like the fabricated reality into like the real reality of what is actually going on. So this is now like what's really happening and not what is just being shown.
yeah, essentially racial supremacy is what they're trying to show here in this frame.
Hmm. And then once again, the the big social party climbs in and just steals the spotlight.
I can see this is actually focused on it. Everything
Yeah,
else
you
is in the
can
background is
see how
blurred.
it's just like kicking all the other social parties out. You can see what's going on.
And you can see this is kind of like back when we were on like I believe somewhere around 15 seconds in, it was this. So this is sort of
Yeah.
coming back to that was all in his mind really, and then we're sort of coming back to reality as what he thinks a perfect society would be. But that was just like a fallacy within his mind, and this is really the reality that it's not the way it is.
Yes. So you can just see how it's basically the same cycle of frames going on. Basically like the same imagery happening. So and look at the facial expressions in the background. I don't exactly know what to make of this. Then
That's like
again,
a shock factor right there.
yeah. It almost looks like they're just snapped, like their brain just like went off the deep end completely.
Yeah, and
And
then
you'll continue to see that sort of like emotional facial expressions going on if for like the next like 40 seconds.
yeah,
Well,
and really what
actually,
that could
no,
represent, that could
like
represent,
through the video.
that character in the back could have been manipulated or seen something that they shouldn't have, or so per se. Maybe yeah.
Oh, and so now we're back in the beginning. So now we're focusing on the white population for the white happening. So yeah, you can see that. And then, so Milo, pause. So in the background, you can see. So you see how like the races and all the social groups are slightly different,
Hmm.
but they have like the same like real like same like character format almost. So you can see like the big self-centered narcissistic social party in the back, and the two social parties on the left and right of the screen. You can see how they're gonna like start to side amongst each other and put away their differences just to take down the other social party.
And you notice like they're all the same, just from different angles we're seeing them from. So really, this means that it could be a wider representative saying we're all human, really,
Hmm.
and that we're just different. As you can see, their eyebrows sort of go down, symbolizing more anger and
Also,
more.
you can see how they lock eyes as well, which means that they're now having interaction amongst each other.
Yeah, they're in
From
unison
like that point,
agreement
it was
to.
only they never like acknowledged each other at the same time. It was all one or the other. But now you can see that they're both in the center of frame. So this is signifying how they are both equal to each other, based off of each other.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see the character in the background is completely unaware. And if you look closely, you can see the Star of Unity going on in the background, which means that race is flourishing. And you can see how they look at the viewer or whoever is looking at the video. That doesn't significantly mean anything. That doesn't mean they're breaking the fourth wall or anything. It's just to like bring in a sense of camaraderie between the viewer and the characters in the video.
Yeah, that could also be, portrayed as a propaganda.
Hmm.
And these faces kind of looked like in disgust, is really what they could look like.
Hmm.
Yeah,
No,
this is
that's like
more,
a
you know,
semi-devious looking kind of.
yeah,
They look like they just came up
devious,
with an idea,
evil.
maybe an assassination attempt. Um, Probably not, since it's a social group, not just a single person. Maybe they're gonna try to like expose something, which is something that has been used more and more often, trying to like just get dirt on other people to try and make them look bad and less desirable to others, which is probably what we're gonna start to see.
Yeah, this is gonna be, covering your mouth is also, that's sort
It's
of a
taking
way
time
of
that you're actually
laughing.
lying, or you're
Lying
trying to
and
cover
laughing.
up your emotion.
So they could, semi devious plan.
And
I
you
see
can see how
laughter.
they can't hold it in. Their their plan is so incredible that they're almost certain that it will succeed. But still, the character in the background is completely unaware.
Yes, it's sort of a blank face, really.
It looks to not be to not be acknowledging anything that is going on without their knowledge or the social party's knowledge.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see so the plan is about to take place right now. So this is them mentally preparing themselves to execute what they came up with. So you're probably going to see like a bunch of fighting over the screen space on the video. There's going to be a lot of like changing between the characters. You can probably see.
There's a red
And
dot
the
there. What could
virus
that
threat.
symbolize? Blood.
So you can see that like they're struggling to execute this plan because we know nothing has happened because nothing has really changed except for the facial expressions. So I don't know if it's exactly gonna work. And then this is when they take heavy drugs. You
Or
can
I don't
tell from
see it
like
as
the
that. I
almost
see it as absolute
yeah, but
failure.
yeah, but their pupils were of light colors, and so that means their pupils are completely dilated. So therefore, that there's probably not something going on, probably something going on in the mental space of these two characters. And this is when gangs start happening. When drugs are introduced, that's when bad stuff starts to happen.
It's
And you
just a
can
loop
see
now.
see loops. It's just a cycle. They never know if they're gonna see. They don't know if they're gonna be able to do it. So then they just resort to drugs, and the drugs go away, and it's just it cycles. But you can. So now you can start to see how each one is trying to make themselves present and make themselves desirable, while also trying to make the bigger social party trying to look as less desirable at the same time. So this is more propaganda footage. When you see one by itself, it's promotional slash propaganda footage. So keep that in mind when we continue
Yeah,
to go through the
if
video.
you're watching through this and you want to point out something that we're not pointing out,
Don't forget to leave it in the comments.
yeah, first do that. You can also, if you there's a way to notice propaganda, it's either one, it's one thing is centered in frame, or two, it's another thing. It's another character per se, or not. There's two characters on screen, and one is in the front and the other one is in the back. Or three, there's another character amongst the other characters that's in focus. That is a way of resembling. All three of those ways are ways of resembling propaganda.
hmm So you can see how they're trying to make themselves look desirable. So like so things are shifting horizontally. So therefore so as this video rolls through, as it's being broadcast to the masses, it is actually gaining like population within the social group itself.
There's the
And
Unity
so
Star,
there's the star of unity, which means things are going good.
and it disappears.
And
And
then look,
propaganda, what we were
this is
talking about.
propaganda.
Now you see, these are completely different colors symbolizing a new social group has come into the play.
which means so different colors means different racial patterns, different population ratios and stuff. And so you can see, um, so you can see little drips of sweat going down the character. That probably means that they are unsure of something. Maybe they were caught doing something, caught doing stuff illegally, like illegally stalking, possibly. That is a common trait to find bad stuff about someone. So yeah, and look, so here's just more propaganda footage going on.
Propaganda,
And then you can
propaganda.
see the big one, it's just repeating itself. So we can just skip through all of this. And
And
that's
that's
the
it.
video. That's the full video. We don't know how things turn out. We're assuming that they all just eradicated each other.
Yep.
Kind of like the Crusades that happened. I don't know if
Well,
that's historically accurate.
thank you.
But it happened for a very long time. The Crusades went on for a very long time. Which is kind of what we're seeing here.
Yeah, so thank you for watching this video documentary, frame by frame analysis of XD // animation meme. See you next time.
And if you like this sort of content, mostly analyzing these videos, because we're gonna try and do a wide range of videos. Make sure to subscribe and like the video so we know that you are supporting this. And yes, so have a fantastic day. And don't
Goodbye.
get yourself sucked up within social parties. It's really not that worth it.
Goodbye.